To feel sexual is, I think, in many ways to feel alive. I desire, therefore I am. Good sexual mental health means simply creating an inner climate inside of yourself in which there's room and space and possibility to welcome desires. Mental health more globally, as well as sexual health and sexual mental health, are so closely intertwined like a braid, like a plait, such that they are constantly mutually constituting each other. If we are feeling free and open sexually, I think it provides a positive feedback so that our mental health feels better. And likewise, if we're on vacation, for example, or doing something we're very passionate about, I think it likewise enthuses the libido such that we may feel also sexually alive. Shame just oozing from our language around sexuality. We're ashamed to be having too much or too little, and a very judgmental sort of way of looking at it. Messages are coming from two different parts of our brain, and so one part of our brain is the more libidinous part, has a certain drive, a certain sexual drive, but the other part is the judgmental side of our brain, which is assessing the self in the language of good and bad, and that really tends to shrivel up the libido. We make this very huge investment in being good girls and boys at a very young age. And then we don't depart very far from that, we simply elaborate upon it. And one of the problems with being trained in being good girls and boys is that we're often trying to do that in bed. And which leads us into this way of thinking about sexuality that's about performance and pleasing. And these things are maybe a component, but it really limits the exploration, the playfulness, the curiosity that to me are the cornerstones of sexual mental health. The compression of sexuality manifests as anxiety, irritability, confusion, that we often displace onto other things. I think we're displacing our sexual suppression all the time. You might come home and sort of blow up at your partner because you didn't admit to yourself that you were attracted to somebody at work, which could cause you also to resent the partner who prevents you from acting out on that. This whole thing happens behind the scenes. We hardly pay attention to it. It's like a blinking of an eye, like a dream. I think there's so many things you can do actually, and I think it really varies again by person as to what feels what touches you. So to the extent that we are invested in being good people, we might miss, as it were, some of what our most authentic desires are. And so I think actually if we could make a journey from being good to being authentic, that is probably what could most promote our sexuality. To go through your day tracking what your desires are as much as you track the different tasks that you have to accomplish, to notice also the movement of desire in your body and mind, just to allow that to be there. For example, something that I like to tell people to do is to undress in front of the mirror, and there's an ancient tantric exercise actually where you just touch different body parts of yourself and smile to recognize how each body part is laden with stories and feelings, and to receive and accept those. There may be some grieving involved as to, I didn't indulge these wishes for so long and now I'm XX age and I never paid any attention to it. How do I start? I think it's an individual journey. I think that is the journey of sexual mental health, where you keep discovering aspects of yourself that have gotten censored, and you keep trying to express them.